Oh, guys, what's going on? And happy Monday. We are back in the saddle again, ready to rock and roll, making some money, using arbitrage, positive EV. We got Monday Night Football tonight. We got a full slate of Major League Baseball games. We got one WNBA game. We got a lot of good stuff going on. So we're really going to be focused on Monday Night Football bets. There's definitely some good bets tonight for the Vikings-Bears game. And then we'll even take a little sneak peek into the college football slate for next weekend and week 2 NFLs, because that's going to be coming up here really quickly. And this is where you're going to find the best value on spreads, totals, and money lines for college football and NFL for next week is today and tomorrow and Wednesday. That's really the golden age. You can find some value on Thursdays and Fridays, but we want to make sure we hit it hard early in the week. Make this a staple of your football betting this year when it comes to betting on spreads, money lines, and totals for college football and the NFL. Get your action in early in the week. You're going to find a lot of success. Patrick, what's going on, man? Well, Patrick, I appreciate you being able to join, man. But obviously, we have a lot of other people that are able to join the morning streams too. So I'll keep it in mind, brother. But obviously, I'm not going to, change my entire streaming schedule based off of one viewer. But I appreciate you being transparent and open with me, man. We're going to be always looking to have streams this time of the day moving forward during the week, but we're still going to look to have some morning streams. Yesterday, I just had a good friend that was in town and we were watching the Sunday Night Football game. How about that Sunday Night Football game, by the way? It was just absolutely crazy. So I had some cocktails. Irish, what's going on? Ron, what's a big yo to you? Clark, time to cash. Skunky, let's have a night, no doubt about that. So there we go. What's going on, Elwin? What's going on, guys? So we're going to take a look first at DFS, little PrizePicks, little underdog maybe. Looks like we got a 6-pick slip over here on PrizePicks. Let me go ahead and fire this up with the one-click bet feature. Looks like this is all set. Okay, good to go. Good to go. And we're going to flex this, and we're going to just fire this off real quickly. We do have a Caleb Williams play, guys. So, we're going to make sure that we create a slip with Caleb Williams. We're getting a crazy discount over at PrizePicks, so we're going to make sure that we share that as well. Juan, what's going on? And yeah, 81 points. 81 points. Was a wild game. My Steelers had a wild game. Again, sports betting's unpredictable, guys. Over-under in the Steeler game was 37.5 points, 38 points. They scored 66 yesterday. Never know what happens with sports betting. It's always going to be crazy. What else do we got? We got a 5-pick entry here. This could be similar to the play we just had. Do we have a 3-pick at all? Let's go with this 3-pick entry, and we're just going to remove one of these plays. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add the Caleb Williams play, and then I'm just going to remove one of these plays over here. So we'll just grab the top one here for CS2 Go. We'll just grab that. We'll rock this as a 3-pick power, and will they let me play $20? Probably not. Yeah, I can only do $5, so that's fine. We're going to rock this $5 slip right here, and this is how we're going to use our Caleb Williams promo. It's going to be a 3-pick entry over here with some esports plays. Ron had the under 43.5 and minus 220. Appreciate you sharing that on the Steeler game. And that was basically toast by almost halftime, right? So crazy. I wanted to pretty much bet every dollar I had on the under on that Steelers-Jets game. And I'm super glad that I didn't touch it because it was no bueno at all. We got a 6-pick entry up here with underdog. Do we have any 3-pick slips? I'm really into 3-pick slips, guys. We don't have that at the moment. So let's go ahead and regenerate this. A lot of our better slips that we had yesterday, guys, they just 2x'd. Speaking of a better slip, these are, okay, we can rock this over here. Let me pull this off to the side. Let me log into better. So we had a lot of better slips that were looking promising, and we just ended up 2x'ing them or 2.5x'ing them, which, it's fine. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. So we're going with what? Nabal Krismat, over 3 strikeouts. Okay. And it's going to be a 5-pick slip over here on better. And then we got Yu Darvish. On the other side, we're taking this under 5.5 Ks. Cool. All right. And then what else we got here? We got Taylor Ward. And again, guys, how this tool operates is just searching and scanning all the available lines that we have and is going to just give us, the best plays that we're receiving a really good price on. And then what we have is Lats play as well for MLB. So that's where we're finding value here with DGF's AI slip generator. That's kind of the beauty behind this tool. And we're going with Morrow and And points and rebounds. Okay, so this play bumped. This is now 16.5. So I don't like that. So I'm going to have to maybe manually search for another play with better. Or we could just throw in DJ Moore or Quintana. So we actually want to remove one of the plays and add in Quintana because we are getting one of the plays bumped. Or maybe the value wasn't as good as it once was. So we're going with Quintana, and then we're going with DJ Moore over 5 receptions today. Let's go with the over 5. Okay, and then we're going to look at this slip here. I'm removing Chrismat, so Chrismat's no longer going to be in play. This is a 5-pick slip. We'll place this entry, and then I'll go ahead and share this link with you guys. This has just under a 5% edge. So I like this. You know, anything above 3% I'm in on. AZ, what's going on, man? How the hell am I? I'm doing real well, brother. Hopefully you're doing well. And appreciate you guys tuning in. So we got a lot to jump into. There's a better entry. We shared some prize picks, shared some better. Let's generate this once more to see if we have any underdog value. So let's go and look for underdog specifically. Looks like we got a 3-pick or a 5 or a 6-pick. Guys, I'm more interested in the 3-pick, to be honest with you. So let me go over to underdog and we'll crank this out. If you guys want to play the 6-pick entry, that's fine. So obviously has a higher edge, but there's just you're gonna run into more variance with those 6-pick slips. And so Debo definitely screwed me on that 3-pick entry yesterday, which stinks. We're looking at costs, hits, runs, RBIs, the under 1.5. We're looking at Burden, Luther, this Bears game tonight, under 6.5 receiving yards. We're just really hoping Luther doesn't catch anything. And then Jota under 30.5. There's going to be no insurance on this play. So I'm going to throw a 50 spot on this bad boy. We're going to share this as well. So one better, one prize picks, one underdog slip. If you guys want to tail this, it would be the same slip, looks like, but you're going to add in Marte, maybe Max, Hap, and then this guy. So a lot of CS2 Go plays. Okay, interesting. Maybe that Jota play wasn't a part of it. But if you guys want to rock a 6-pick entry on underdog, there it is. So we're going to go over to the optimizer next at OddsJam. We're going to take a look at some DraftKings Pick 6, some dabble. We'll look at parlay play. And then we'll jump into some arbitrage positive EV plays. But would love to hear how it went for you guys yesterday on Sunday. Anytime touchdown scores that cashed, we had Kyron Williams. We had Marvin Harrison Jr. Didn't have as many anytime touchdown scores that really worked out for us. The T. Higgins play didn't work out well. Nick Chubb didn't work out very well. I'm trying to think. I'm glad that we kind of missed out on the Drake London play because that was one that I wanted to go after. And, you know, that Buccaneers-Falcons game, I thought it would be really high scoring, and it just wasn't. Just wasn't the case at all. So we'll start with parlay play. Using OddsJam's optimizer. Seems like we're receiving a really good price over on Aaron Jones. Yeah, Pinnacle's at plus 168, so this is a very EV play for Aaron Jones. The problem with parlay play, there isn't many other plays out there that I'm super excited about. I can get in on Rafaela, so Jones and Rafaela, but then I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of other plays when it comes to parlay play. So let me go ahead and use another tool over here, and I'm going to log into parlay play, guys, and I'm going to look to create a 4-pick slip. I do like these first 2 plays with Aaron Jones on his touchdowns. So I believe this would be just rushing and receiving touchdowns. We're going to go more. Yeah, because this is boosted. It's definitely a payout boost special on Jones, which is nice. Unfortunately, that's pretty much like what it has to be normally when it comes to these types of plays. Rafaela, we're looking at his under 1.5 bases. Where's this dude's bases at? Total bases. There we go. We're going less. And then I'm just going to grab a couple plays over here, guys, that are just helping me from a different play, a different spot, which is going to definitely be the Larry model, which I'm a big fan of Larry and this model that they have going on. So we're going to go under here, and then we'll take this one here. And this is for what? CS2? And I'm going to share this with you guys here in just a second. And we're looking for what? The under 25.5. All right, this is going to be a 4-pick entry. I'm not sure how much they're going to let me bet on this. Okay, we got it in. So can I share this with you guys? That's kind of the question here. Because I'd really like to share this play. I don't know if I can. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to share it on the screen right here, guys. This is the play. We're taking Aaron Jones over on his rushing receptions and touchdowns. Rafaela, let me zoom in a little bit. Rafaela under on his total 1.5 bases. We're looking at Dota. We're looking at Skyder at less than 15.5 first 2 map kills. And then for CS2 Go, we're taking Issa, less than 25.5. So I'll leave this up here for a minute because I don't know how to share the entry on Parlay Play. But we're kind of going around the horn a little bit with the DFS tools. So I put in $75 to win almost $1,300. We'll see if that cashes. I wasn't sure if there's kind of a cap on this boost for Aaron Jones, but it looks like there maybe isn't, which is pretty sick. But that'll be the parlay play over there. If you guys want to see it again, just let me know. Holler in the chat, and we'll take a look. Let's look at some DraftKings Pick 6. I'll take a little screenshot of this parlay play so I have this for my records later. DraftKings Pick 6, 3-pick entries, no insurance. The only thing here with these plays, guys, is we need to find basically 3 plays for the same league. So like Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston, Sabrina, we could get in with this. The problem is there's no Pinnacle and there's really no FanDuel. So I don't like this. The Sabrina play has FanDuel's odds, but like nobody else has. There's no Pinnacle odds here. So it's really hard for me to have any kind of confidence in these plays when I don't have really any sharp sports books. So to me, these plays are all trash because I don't have any confidence in the books that are providing me odds. If you have certain insights into maybe betting, the FIBA tournament or maybe MLB, and you think that MGM or Caesars is really sharp, then obviously you could go after these odds. But I don't have a lot of faith in the books that I'm receiving these odds from and looking as my references. So I'm just not going to bet this. I'm just going to move on. There's no reason for me to kind of pull my hair out and try to figure out this puzzle. I'm just not going to play with that puzzle. I'm just going to move on and do something else. Let's take a look at Fliff really quick. Okay, so Fliff is already showing some value here with Arkansas Ole Miss, which is interesting. You have a lot of different options here on the under. These are really big underdogs. So I don't know how I feel about these massive underdogs. But you can see the Pinnacle's not showing any lines for this at all. And if I'm going to bet NFL or college football 6 days in advance or 5 days in advance from now, I need Pinnacle's odds or Circa's odds or bet on lines. So I don't have any faith in these plays. This is kind of the problem here with this. We'll take a pull-up dabble for the moment. All right, Bracken, got you, bro. Patrick, all you're going to do is when we hit 7,500 subs, and for those of you that are just entering the stream, welcome in. It's just going to be here. I'm gonna call out the winners, right? So when we hit 7,500 subscribers, which we just crossed 7,300, so appreciate everyone that subscribed to the channel, means a lot to me. We're going to give away $75 to 7 people. If you have a Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, I am going to, basically, we're going to have, it's a trivia style stream. I'm going to ask some questions. The first person that answers the question correctly and types the answer correctly, you got to type it correctly too. You're going to win $75. You're eligible to win one time. And then, I'll either DM you or you can send me, over here, or I'll send you my email address and you can send me your DM for Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, right? That's how we're going to do it. What's going on, Ken? How are you? Anton, what's going on? Yeah, Patrick, you can send it to me in the chat. I don't need it right now, obviously, because we're still a little farther away, but that's how it's going to work. That's what's going to happen. So over here on Dabble, we're looking at 5-pick slips. Again, guys, if you want to see less variance and a slightly just worse price, minus 122, I'd rather play 3-pick entries with no insurance. Brent Rooker, again, don't have any odds on FanDuel Pinnacle, so I don't know how I feel about that. But the Chrismat play, under 3.5. You can see this is 32 cents off to FanDuel. I like that. It's only 8 cents off to Pinnacle, but I lean heavily more on FanDuel's odds for sharps as strikeouts than Pinnacle. Rough day yesterday, Ken said. Cash Kyron in a happy hour boost on DK last night. I don't know if any of you guys tailed my gut feeling yesterday on Lamar anytime touchdown over on FanDuel, but that worked out for us. So that was really nice. Okay, so let's jump over to the arbitrage tool. Let's kind of refresh this page. So what you're looking at here, guys, is that obviously up here in the top, I have $100, and we're on pre-match. So my settings at the moment, we're looking for games for today. Markets are just main market and player prop markets. I'm looking for anything that has a minimum 1% edge. We can send this to a cap of 10%. It's not really going to change much. DVIG settings, you can use odds jams recommended book weights, or I like to use Pinnacle. right? Doesn't change the results all that much. Select your sports books, show results. And as you can see at the moment, we have some plays. One play that's 4.5%, which is nice. And then we have some plays that are kind of chilling in this just under 3% range. So the idea, guys, is because all of these sports books set their odds on their own, you're going to be able to day trade these books and make some profits, right? The more money that you invest into the market here, the more money you can make. So you're going to make more money off of maybe a Yoshida compared to maybe Howard, right? But the idea here is that you're going to be able to work through this. Now, if you want to go to live arbs, little different strategy here, right? One of my favorite things when I'm live arbitrage betting is I just click the play button and I'm just going to wait and kind of chill and just watch the screen for probably 5 minutes or so. And I'm just going to see which sports books pop up a lot. Naturally, when you see these plays that are arbs the pinnacle, these are just great bets that you want to place as straight wagers, right? Bally bet Hard Rock here, right? But it looks like there's only tennis going on at the moment. When these baseball games get underway, you're going to see some opportunities. And you're most likely going to also see some player prop opportunities tonight in the Vikings-Bears game, right? So really excited about that. So there's some different things. Boom. And then all of a sudden, we get a bunch of DraftKings plays that pop up. And you can see we're getting 4.5%, 3%. So the idea is that you're going to pick 2 or 3 sports books. You're going to log into those books. You're going to maybe just focus on tennis, women's tennis, right? So we're going to set up our settings here so that we're going to say, you know what? I've seen enough. We're just going to go after mainline markets, and we're going to go after just tennis plays, right? So I'm going to scroll down here to tennis, and then maybe it's just going to be WTA, right? I'm just going to focus on WTA. And then I'm going to clear this out, and I want a minimum of 3% as my ROI for these live arbs, right? And then maybe your sports books, right? Maybe you say, you know what? I got a Hard Rock. I got a Bally Bet, or maybe it's a Bet Rivers. You got a FanDuel. You got a DraftKings. And maybe you got a BetMGM, right? And so we're going to click Show Results. And then that's it. You're going to go log into those books. You're going to load up and go over to tennis on all of those books. MGM, you're going to go to women's tennis. FanDuel, you're going to go to women's tennis. All those books, and then you're just going to wait for a play to pop up and smash. Maybe you focus on 1 or 2 specific matchups for the ladies, and that's it. Now, again, if you don't see anything popping up right now, it's not because things are broken, just because there aren't any plays. So with live arbitrage betting, it's not always boom, 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 boom. Sometimes you're just going to chill, have a drink of water, and just wait. Just wait and see for things to pop up. So that's how you would do it for live arbitrage betting. But you can find some great opportunities. Great opportunities over there. But again, depending on where you live is going to showcase to you then what type of opportunities that you have. So we'll go back over here and add in some player props and main markets. And we got a minimum percentage. We're good. We're good. Okay. And then that's just kind of how it's going to work with arbitrage betting, right? Let's go over to look at some positive EV plays. There we go, Ken. Nice to see that, man. There we go, Irish. Nice to hear that, brother. Nice to hear that. So when we're looking at pre-match arbitrage, we're going to first jump into the Monday Night Football game, right? And as we get later into before kickoff, this is when a lot of casual bettors are going to come home from work, right? It's 6:18 on the East Coast, so a lot of people are home from work, and they're getting ready to sit down and maybe want to start placing some bets on the game. So this is a really good time to start betting positive EV bets to mask your sharpness as a sports bettor. So we're going to look at Pinnacle right now, and we're going to look at worst case. We can also look at Bookmaker as well if you wanted to. And then we're just going to focus on all the sports books at the moment, and then we'll look for a minimum maximum odds. We can go in a minus 150, plus 150 range, right? You can do that. That's totally fine. And for our EV percentage, let's just say 1% right now. If we're looking for player props, we want a minimum of 3. If we're looking for some reason that's not working for me, good God, that's annoying. There we go. And then we're looking for leagues. We're just going to clear out everything, and we're going to look for NFL, okay? And then we're just going to look for maybe player props, right? If you're looking to bet the spreads or the money line or total points for the Bears game tonight, I would advise you should have did that earlier this week. Or last week, right? I'm not looking to really bet money line spreads or totals right now. I'm looking at player props. And then what's the problem here? Why are we not seeing much for Pinnacle? Why am I not seeing a ton here? I should be seeing more than what I am. I don't know why we're not seeing, if I just clear and reset everything, just bear with me for one moment here, guys. I apologize. I'm just kind of seeing like why we're not seeing a lot. We should be seeing something. Yeah, 25 results for Pinnacle. Sometimes this happens, guys. Sometimes this happens. Yeah, 23 results. That makes sense. Day ranges for today. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at this. Okay. So, a couple plays here. Caleb Williams. Like, there's $12 available on No Vig. Trust me. And there's J.J. McCarthy. There's $87 over here on No Vig. Trust me. Both of these plays, this isn't a professional sports bettor sitting on the other side trying to bait one of you guys into betting this. This is very low liquidity. This is totally a play that maybe I would get after for $12. Compared to Pinnacle and to FanDuel, the under on Williams passing attempts, this looks really good. It's not very good to bookmaker, but I don't mind that play. McCarthy, same thing. The under on his passing yards, this is 17 cents off to Pinnacle. It's not bad. It's not incredible, but it's okay. If we're looking at DeAndre Swift over on his catches, you can see that Bookmaker and Pinnacle have the same price. This is over at FanDuel. If we click into this, again, this is the beauty of the Platinum plan with OddsJam. So you can see that FanDuel's dropping in price. They were up to plus 134. This is getting bet down to plus 122. If we zoom in a bit, Pinnacle hasn't moved a lot, but Bookmaker has had some movement. They were up at plus 113 an hour ago. Now they're down to plus 105. They're going from a slight underdog to less of an underdog, almost a flip of a coin here. And that's because there's money flowing in on DeAndre Swift on his over. I think I have his under. I think I put this on this parlay. Yeah, this Onyx parlay I tweeted out. I have him at the under 2.5. Obviously, I don't have him at plus 100 odds, guys. This is just a default with OddsJam at the plus 100. But I'm in on his under 2.5. So still don't mind that. If you want to go on his rushing yards here on DraftKings, this would be at DraftKings specifically. Looks like Pinnacle's at minus 134. Yeah, this looks pretty good over on DraftKings. If you want to take Swift over 52.5 rushing yards. Dude can break one. That's the one thing I'll say about Swift. He's not always the most efficient runner, and his vision isn't the best. But the boy just needs one crack, and if he gets it, he gone. So I don't mind this at all if you want to throw something on Swift over on DraftKings, right? Now, you're seeing a lot of plays with the exchanges. This is the only play that's kind of crazy to me. Aaron Jones, $1,100 here on his rushing attempts. That's one that's a lot of money to me. You can see Bet105's taking $750. You can bet more on the exchange. I don't know how I feel about this in terms of like a sharp sports bettor kind of baiting us out there. That might be the case. But like, DJ Moore, that's $3. Even DJ Moore receiving yards is only $580. I don't mind that. But this is, it's an okay play. So just giving you some different examples of plays that we want to go after. I bet this earlier, Justin Jefferson, over 6.5 catches. FanDuel, very good to Pinnacle. Not bad to Bookmaker. It's okay. But again, when I looked at this play, Pinnacle dropped off a cliff not too long ago. They were up at plus 129, and about 48 minutes ago, they moved down to plus 112. They moved 17 cents in a direction. So I like that movement there. You could see this from Pinnacle. Again, use code Billy35 when you talk to the fine folks at OddsJam. Tell them you want to try Platinum 1 week for free. Tell them that I told you that you could get it 1 week for free. Use code Billy35. And that's where you're going to be able to see this line movement here, which I think is really, really impactful. If we're looking at Caleb Williams under on his passing touchdowns, this looks incredible over at Caesars. No vig for $84 or Props Builder. I'm probably going to bet this over a Props Builder. If we're looking at Pinnacle, this is 12 cents off to Bookmaker. It's okay. It's a lot better, though, to Pinnacle. It's 21 cents off. And, we're looking at some kind of just movement here in general. I can kind of click off certain books and say, what's going on here? What's the big movement? You could see that Pinnacle was at minus 135 about 6 hours ago. And then they moved to minus 154, right? But that's about 6 hours ago. So that was a while. Bookmaker's kind of chilling. FanDuel's kind of chilling. But again, this is massively off to Caesars and to Props Builder. Now, the only thing that I don't like to see is that both Props Builder and Caesars, but particularly Props Builder, has moved a lot within the last 2 hours. And that type of movement is something I don't like to see from a rec book. So because Props Builder has moved most recently, I'm just not going to play this play. I'm just going to walk away from it and say, no thanks. Now, he might throw for 1 touchdown tonight. I personally really don't believe in Caleb Williams. That's just my 2 cents. I'm not a Bears hater. I don't think he's going to be as good as he was touted to be. It's a big year for him, no doubt about that. So when you're looking at these player props, being able to see this line movement from the sports books is very powerful. It's the most powerful recipe that I have for success when it comes to betting player props. Finding plays that have an edge and then seeing a sharp book or two move in a certain direction in unison, that's the recipe for success. It's just pretty simple. And the Platinum Plan is going to give you that opportunity. Al, what's my Twitter handle? No problem, man. It is right here. Ken said, rough start to the day, but cleaned up on the Sunday night game. Nice to hear that, Ken. Nice to hear that, man. Oh. So, there we go. That's for me on Twitter. If you want to give me a follow, it's O with a 0 in terms of Collins. So, something else that's very powerful that we want to do. I've talked about this in different videos, right? We want to use Circa. We want to use worst case. We want to use main markets. We want to look at NFL. College football, the date range is going to be custom. We want to look at Thursday through Monday. College football and NFL. This is where you're going to find incredible value. If you're betting on spreads, finding key numbers, right? So Ohio versus Ohio State. Now, Pinnacle's at plus 106. Circa, is at minus 110. So if you want to try to find plays where Pinnacle and Circa are aligned together, this is where you can do that, right? This is where you can find out, right? Circa set their odds about an hour ago. Pinnacle's been out for about the last 19 hours, and you can see they moved. So you can first start to look for Circa, or you can look elsewhere, right? Michigan minus 28, to be fair. 28 is kind of an important number. But these 2 books are about 9 cents off. And when we're talking about mainline spreads, money lines, point spreads, totals, you start finding plays that have 8 to 9 cents difference, if not more. So in this case, this is 11 cents off to Pinnacle. It's 20 cents off to Circa. Those are plays that I like. I can get down with Michigan minus 28 over at Fanatics. If you're looking over here on No Vig, there's about $300 here on Western Michigan, Illinois. This is very good over at Circa. Or you could probably bet this over at FanDuel. But Circa set their odds about 10 hours ago. FanDuel set their odds, and then they moved up a little bit. But I'm still okay with this, going after maybe this over 51.5. And I would go after FanDuel on this, right? We're getting this play in before the sharp sports books. The sharp bettors really can manipulate the market. So why this is such a big deal, guys, is that you might see that if we bet this Western Michigan, Illinois play right now, we might come to find out, like, by Saturday, this over-under might be at like 53 or 54. And that's a really big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up FanDuel. I'm going to come over here to Western Michigan, Illinois. And I understand for some of you guys that are here, you're really just focused on the Monday Night Football game. But in order for you to become a profitable sports bettor, you want to start to focus on these types of plays that are days in advance. So we're just going to go to alternate total points, and we're going to go the over 51.5. Now, as a side note, guys, we just talked about how Circa likes the over 51.5 at minus 110. If you just want to bet the over 50.5 at minus 105 and get that extra point, I'm okay with that as well. So my max limits are $189. So I'm just going to go ahead and bet $180 on this play. And I'm going to get this over. I'm going to bet this over for $180. This game's not till Saturday. If you guys are new to sports betting, this is how you win at football, when you bet point spreads and total points. And for you OGs and DGens, I do apologize because I am going to beat the friggin' wheels off of this strategy to you guys all season long when it comes to betting on football. This is how you become profitable beating the books. Putting bets in. Now, not every single bet that we place is going to have closing line value. But you're going to find out more times than not, this is how you bet the over 50.5, and at kickoff on Saturday, it's at 54 points. And you're like, dude, I just got a field goal in closing line value on this play. There you go. Ken, what's my opinion on A-Train Station? I'm a huge fan of A-Train Station. First off, as an individual, I got to spend some time with them. at Bet Bash about a month ago. He's an awesome guy. Him and Eric are top-notch, top-class individuals, and his tools I could not recommend highly enough. I think he's an extremely sharp mind that can definitely help you level up your sports betting. No doubt about that. So big shout out to A-Train Station. Big fan of his and his software. No doubt about that. I have no problem giving props to other people if I think that they can help you, because that's what I'm really about here, guys. OddsJam's been my homie for 4 years now. We've been like this. But A-Train Station started using OddsJam years ago. He's now got his own platform. He's a very sharp person, very smart individual. So I have nothing but nice things to say about him. Do I ever look for width, Sal? I used to when I first started, not anymore. What you're going to notice with width, it's a good question to ask, is that all of these, really your width is just going to be determined off of the odds. So your odds range that you're going after, you're going to see consistent width. So, the difference in the sports books here, this is 37 cents in width, right, for Pinnacle. For Circa, this is like 20 cents. Right, you're going to find, though, that if you're betting minus 115, plus 115 odds ranges, you're going to see the same type of width. I used to try to rack my brains in figuring out like why certain plays, certain width. Was I getting better ROI on like width of 25 or less or 40 or less? And I kind of just forgotten about width altogether. I don't really focus at all on market width anymore, because if I stick to a certain odds range, I'm always going to stick to a certain market width. And so that's fine by me. Looking at this under 52.5 on New Mexico UCLA, Circa and Pinnacle are only 9 cents off in price here. Again, I would really look to bet this over at No Vig. It doesn't seem like there's any other books right now that are offering a really good price. Let's see. Where else? Is there any rec books out there that's hanging anything at all? Florida Atlantic +2. Not a key number for me, so I don't really like that. Bovada, though. Purdue at +21. At +105. This is a key number. Getting the Boilermakers at +21 points is a good number, right? So, we get them at 42-21. It's a push. I'd rather have a push than a loss. You can see Pinnacle's taking $2,000 here. Circa, BetOnline, and Pinnacle are all very closely aligned here. Getting this at +105 odds is massive over at Bovada. This is a smash play for me. For me, this is over 2.5%. Why is this over 2.5% for me? Because the software does not add into the equation how important of a number 21 is. All the software is doing is saying Pinnacle has this at this price and we're getting it at this price. It's EV. The software doesn't comprehend how important 21 is. So for me, this play has an even higher EV edge where I'd be willing to bet 1.5 units on this play because of what we're getting this at +21. Risen, that's a good question. Irish, been watching his, seems legit. Yeah, he's a very legit guy. Very legit, very sharp. He'll add a lot of, he'll definitely enhance your education. No doubt about that when talking about A-Train. So is 425 bets enough for plus EV, or do I have to place at least 1,000 bets? I mean, 425 bets is a start. It's a good start. It's not enough to really tell you your whole story. And even when we get to 1,000 bets, then 1,000's nice, but I'm gonna ask for 2,000, 3,000 bets, right? When we run certain simulations based off your EV edge and then the odds range that you're going after, and you see these different charts and these line graphs that go all over the place, they normally run those simulations off of 10,000 bets. So getting to 1,000 bets is better, but when you get to 1,000 bets, you should see yourself up and to the right. But if you're not seeing yourself as up and to the right, it could be just because you've been a bit unlucky and you're still profitable, but you're maybe not as profitable as you could be. We are going to go and look at some baseball bets, guys, but I just really I'm driving the point home of how important it is to start to look for plays for the NFL, for college football, for next week on a Monday. It's very important to do that. So let's take a look at some MLB plays. Let's look at some home run props. Let's go for today. And if you guys have questions, email me, DM me. Also, hopefully you guys enjoyed the first Bull Rush competition. Week 1's almost in the books. We're going to be running competitions next week for college football and for Week 2 NFL. It's $5 entry. You have a chance to win $50 first place, $25 for second and third. So I think it's a lot of fun. It's going to be a good time. Let's look at some home runs. And then also, guys, if you're maybe looking to get into positive EV betting, but you're not sure where to go, or you're looking to get in a live arbitrage, you can work with me one-on-one via coaching. I do have some spots available for coaching. If you want to work personally with me, we can kind of go off of your risk tolerance, where you're located, what sports books you have. Are you limited on any books? You can work one-on-one with me where we can have some kind of time where we can kind of go through your whole strategy, right? So if you're looking to book a free 30-minute discovery call, because I offer different packages, maybe we might not find a fit for you, but if you want to check out the discovery call where we sit down for 30 minutes and see if there's a fit, go ahead and check out a link here. Go ahead and book a call with me over at Calendly. So what we're seeing right now for home runs is that, we just have 2 plays on Pinnacle that's not very attractive. I'm not going to lie. Let's take a look at Ballpark Pal, and let's take a look at some of the best stats. So really good hitting conditions for the A's, Red Sox, Twins, Angels, Dodgers, Rockies. That's about it. We see that Acuna play was popping up, but it's minus 10% down in Atlanta. Not ideal. So I'm really going to be focusing my efforts on placing bets on these 3 games. And, if you want to place one on the Mets, Phillies, that's fine. It's pretty neutral conditions. But and same with the Seattle, the Mariners, and the Cardinals. But I'm going to go after this play right here and look to see if we can. So if we don't see any plays here that I'm really crazy about in terms of just high EV edge plays, then what I'll do is I'll just come over here and set this up to Odds Jam. And then what I'll just do is type in Red Sox and see if any plays pop up. So Shea Langeliers would pop up over here on MGM, plus 360, very tiny edge. I mean, because the hitting conditions are so awesome today in Sacramento, I would say, a little sprinkle here, 20, maybe like a quarter of a unit. I'm not going to go ham on this play because we're not getting a great price. Twins, here's where like Nito and Adele, I'm interested, right? These are both going to be Bally Bet or Bet Parks, but we know Angel Stadium has plus 15%. So not bad also over at FanDuel, right? If you're like me, you can't get this over at Ballybet, I'll check over at Desert Diamond. And then if I can't get that, if you can get this over at FanDuel, change this to 340, you could see we're still getting almost over a 4.5% edge on this play. Put just under a half a unit of your bankroll on this play, half of 1%. So the first thing that I'll do is I'll go over to let's take a look at Desert Diamond because I'm out here. That's a Canby Sportsbook. And I'll see if I can find this play for Nito, however you say his name. And then the same thing's going to be here for Joe Adele, right? We're getting this play at plus 260. I can see it's really going to be, heavy on this, but we're going to go after both of these plays. So 350 for Neto and 260 for Adele. And let's go to baseball. And let's take a look. We're looking at this Angels game, Twins Angels. We're looking at batter props. And we can see Adele's at 260. That's awesome. So we should bet $120. I'll just make this. We're getting a 5% boost max wager. Dude, love that. Let's go. Now, I could put this on Shea Langeliers, right, if I wanted to, but I'm not going to because it's only a 5% boost. So we'll put this on Adele, and we're going to get this now at plus 273, which is awesome. So I'll come over here, say we're getting an odds boost, 273, $100. Desert Diamond. Again, guys, the Bet Tracker at Odds Jam is completely free. It's been my homie for 4 years. It keeps everything nice and neatly tracked. Same thing for Neto. We should be going a little bit more here at 350. And it looks like I'm getting a 10% daily boost on this one. So we're getting a boost. And again, I'll max this at $100. It was basically what I was going to wager on this. If you guys are in Arizona, Desert Diamond has revamped it. I've been limited on this account. They revamped their whole sports book. My limits were reset. So I'm back to my personal account here on Desert Diamond, having a great time, getting some nice little profit boost. Like, I'll take an extra profit boost. No doubt about that. So we'll throw this in on Desert Diamond. And again, I like the hitting conditions. Now, these are long shot underdog plays, guys. So there's no guarantee that they're going to hit. But if they do hit, we're going to get paid out more than what we should. And in this case, we're getting an extra $35 on that boost put in our pocket because we're betting $100. The other game that we want to check out is, the Dodgers and the Rockies. We know that the Rockies pitching staff is terrible. Nothing for the Rockies today? That kind of stinks. Okay. Then that's really all that I'm interested in, guys, when it comes to those two. Yeah, RSN, I would say for sure. I mean, parlays are going to have insane variance. So, if you're batting, if you're hitting an average of plus 525 odds, I would continuously still go after that, right? It's a good question to ask, but yeah, you're going to see some swings, but again, with parlay betting, it is crazy swings. And so you could literally possibly go, hit 3 of your next 4 parlays, and now all of a sudden you're up 15% ROI. So it can definitely happen like that. I would say stick to what you have going on. If you can stomach it for another 300, 400 bets, I would put my money on that you're going to see a profitable change in your results. So let's take a look at some strikeouts really quick here too. That's a good question. Let's clear this out, and then we can just type this in. But we are entering the best time of the year, guys, when it comes to betting on sports. So this is going to be a fantastic time because we still have plenty of baseball games going on for the whole month of September. So baseball is going to kind of carry us throughout the week. Do I not know how to spell strikeouts? Apparently not. Come down here to player strikeouts, and then we're looking for DVIG settings is going to be FanDuel, and it's going to be worst case. And it looks like we're only showing 2 results right now. So Pinnacle is actually being recommended for us to bet this. Tyler Glasnow, over 7.5 Ks. Which book moved? Neither book really moved. Okay. Now, I could go bet this over at Bet 105. Or no, I can't. Bet 105 is not showing up. Wow. Okay. Chase Dollander, over 3.5 Ks. Now, I have a lot more confidence in this Dollander play compared to Glasnow, even though these are both really low edges. Because Pinnacle and Circa and Bookmaker are all fairly aligned. Now, FanDuel's a little bit more bullish on this play, but I'm still okay with that. And by the way, the Dodgers strike out a decent amount. The Dodgers strike out, I know they're at home, but, I mean, they're better at home striking out. They don't strike out as much at home. But in general, the Dodgers are pretty mid, so I don't mind if you want to sprinkle a little something on this, but it's a low-edge play. Let me get rid of the Rockies play. That's why we're not seeing many. Here we go. Aaron Nola, under 5.5 Ks, $431. That's not all that insane. Bookmaker and FanDuel are aligned with their pricing here, which I really like that. You can see there, and Bookmaker just moved just a touch. You can see they moved just a little bit. So Nola pitches for the Phillies. If we're looking at the Mets, and it looks like the Mets are on the road. The Mets strike out the 9th least amount in Major League Baseball. If you guys want to know where I'm pulling that information from, teamrankings.com. It's over here. It's a free website. Take a look. It's in the chat. Teamrankings.com. I like this. I like this under, right? Mets don't strike out that much. They're top 10 striking out the least amount, and we're being recommended to bet the under over here on No Vig. So I definitely like this at minus 108 odds. You're getting a very good price. Again, if you wanted to go after maybe a different book and exchange, you could create a slightly different price. So obviously, when you're using a book like ProfitX, No Vig, or 4CX, you can set up different odds ranges. So make sure that you open your mind to creativity when you're using these exchanges and creating certain bets. Understand that. The Glasnow play here, okay. I could bet this over at 4CX. Slightly similar price. To be very honest, I mean, the Rockies strike out a lot. Okay, the Rockies are on the road. The Rockies strike out the second most in Major League Baseball on the road. And I do like this play. I do. I'm going to double check Bet 105. And if you guys haven't signed up with Bet 105 yet, use code BillyC, okay? And your first deposit of $100, you're going to get a $50 free bet. It's a 1x rollover. Big fan of Bet 105. Because I can't bet over at Pinnacle, but I can bet over at Bet 105, and Bet 105 copies Pinnacle's odds. I'm just going to check real quickly over here at Bet 105 to make sure that, we don't have anything. They don't have Glasnow, because I like this play. And I'll bet this over at 4CX if I need to. Let me take a look over here on baseball. And, it's the last game of the night tonight. So, no, it's not there yet, which really stinks, but that's okay. Now, if you guys live in Arizona and you don't know, I know that everyone complains that No Vig and ProfitX left town. But 4CX, guys, is an exchange that is out there in Arizona that you can use. You can use them for sure. What else do we got over here? Caden Dana, Angels, Twins, under 4.5. Again, bookmaker, circa, FanDuel, all aligned here. Pinnacle's not. I'm okay with that. But let's see the movement. The problem here is that Pinnacle moved a lot within the last 10 minutes. And so that movement, this movement from Pinnacle, for me, I'm out. I'm out on this play. I'm not messing around with this because of that line movement. Again, betting player props, when you see a sharp book move in a certain direction, I just rather stay away from it. Yeah, RSN, I can't really the correlation parlay of plus 450. I mean, you would need to break down each leg and find out the fair value for each leg of that play, then multiply those, find out what the fair win percentage is for those fair odds for each leg, multiply all those percentages together, find out what that percentage is, and then plug that into an odds converter calculator and see what odds that you're receiving. That's how you'll be able to tell if it's a plus EV play. I would assume most sports books do already bake in correlation when it comes to SGPs. All of them do now. It's not like 2021 anymore where they don't. So I would say they do. Wow, this play just moved 30 cents as soon as we clicked onto it. So that's dead. That stinks. Miles Michaelis, we're kind of getting into that iffy area here, guys, in terms of betting pitcher strikeouts because it's a low edge. I do like betting Michaelis on his under. Pinnacle just moved again a little bit, but man, Circa, Bookmaker, and FanDuel all aligned here. Betting an under here, I maybe don't mind going after Hard Rock or MGM on this under 3.5. I don't mind that at all. Let's come back over. We will go over and look at DFS again. We're going to take a look, though, at some more player props for tonight's Monday Night Football game and see what we have cooking. NFL. And again, we'll look at maybe a minus 150 plus 125. Okay. We talked about Justin Jefferson. I like this play. There's only $6 here in Aaron Jones. I'm not going to focus on that. We talked about J.J. McCarthy. His under on his passing yards. This could be a real wild card here, guys, if you believe in J.J. McCarthy or you don't. It's week 1. We've never really seen him play, all that much extensively. So this is going to be a bit also of what you believe in J.J. McCarthy, if you're in or you're out. The books are making their best assumptions, but here's what I love to see, guys. I love to see this. Pinnacle is moving a lot. They moved from plus 100 down to minus 121 within the last 60 minutes. So that's a really good indicator here that a sharp book is moving in a certain direction. Again, this is the Platinum playing with OddsJam. I'm totally fine going after this play on no vig at minus 104 odds. I definitely like that. Joshua, appreciate that, man. And yeah, I do. I do from time to time. Bookmaker can catch some action from me, no doubt about that. But more times than not, I'm using them as a reference or a guide, but sometimes. So let's look at this Caleb Williams play. FanDuel and Pinnacle are aligned here. So what I'm really hoping to see is this is what I'm hoping to see. So this is where Bookmaker can catch action from me, right? Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to go bet this over at Bookmaker. I'm going to move the market. Every time that I bet player props on Bookmaker, I move it by 2 or 3 cents. So if you're going to bet this on Bookmaker, I'm going to wait about 60 seconds, okay? Bet this over under 31.5 passing attempts on Caleb Williams. Bet this now if you're going to bet this on Bookmaker. Pinnacle moved a lot from plus 105 to minus 116. That's 21 cents in movement. That's massive. Once I place this bet on Bookmaker, you're probably then going to receive the price at minus 104 or minus 103. Because when I place bets on Bookmaker, as soon as I place the bet, they have an algorithm on me. I can't share my screen anymore because I get a slap on the wrist from YouTube if I'm betting offshore books on the streams. But this is a great play. Go get this over at Bookmaker right now. They're telling me to bet 130. I'm in on that. So I'm just going to go log into Bookmaker. And again, you have time if you want to get it right now. Johnny on the spot. Patrick, do I have a 2-leg parlay play for FanDuel? Justin Jefferson over 6.5 catches. And they already moved the Swift. I would take Swift over 2.5 catches and Jefferson over 6.5 catches. That would be my 2-leg parlay. That's plus EV. Okay, I am moving my way over to Caleb Williams. And going into props. You guys can still grab it if you want it. And we're looking at what passing attempts. It's at plus 101 right now, which is awesome. So that means it's going to change. There's a $1,000 max wager on this. I'm going to go one. I'm only going to take this for $125. Okay, guys, you had your chance. I'm about to hit submit. All right. Does it? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it won't move. Okay, one of the few times it didn't. Maybe there's a little too much liquidity out there. It's fine by me. I get this, though. Usually, OddsJam has this mispriced, so we get this at plus 101 odds. Maybe I should have wagered a bit more, but I'm in for 125. So I like that play. Caleb Williams. There we go. I like that. Normally for MLB props, it moves, but it didn't move right now, so you guys can still get that. Salia, what's going on, man? Yeah, Salia, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm on an Onyx parlay earlier for him on the under, but I appreciate you letting me know about that. Also, Williams, under on his passing yards. This is over at Bet Openly. There's about $200 available over here. I don't mind that. I mean, if I'm on his under on his passing attempts, then obviously, I'm adding a little bit more risk to this, but I'm going to take his under on his passing yards. I think the Vikings have a very good defense. I don't think Caleb Williams is a very good quarterback. That's just my 2 cents. That's not a plus EV play. That's just my opinion on this. So let me come over here to NFL. Bet Openly. Oh, really? I forgot. I only got $9 in here right now. Dang it. Bet Openly, guys, is a great book, peer-to-peer book. I love to use it. Click the Bears, and then you're going to come down here to just scroll over to passing yards, and you're going to see this Williams play right here is at minus 108. And we're going to have to pay a little juice back to Bet Openly if we hit this, so it's like minus 109. But I really like this play. I could make a deposit, but if you guys want to go grab that over at Bet Openly, I would definitely hit that up. Yeah, Sally, unfortunately, I got a good friend in town, so I'm not going to be on the stream tonight, brother, but I'll be ready for Thursday Night Football for sure. Talks about how Flores blitzes hella, and what Ben Johnson did last year was dump it off to Gibbs a bunch. Love hearing that, Satya. So the over on the Swift play would be definitely a really solid play to take. And, based off of that alone, and Satya has always provided really sound information whenever he's been on the streams. Always appreciate that. We'll take a quick look at this because I think FanDuel's offering the best odds, or at least they were. Let's go player receptions. Just come down here to the bottom, guys. It's kind of all in alphabetical order. And then we're going to look at Swift. And actually, ESPN Bet's offering the best. So I'm in on that one. I'm in on ESPN Bet. And I can go grab that right now. I'll go log in on ESPN Bet here at the moment. I like that, though. ESPN Bet at plus 125. Ooh, man, is that elite. Is that elite. Made a video last week talking about ESPN Bet, guys. Really like them. Big fans of them. Let's make a little quick deposit here. And let me just go in for do this. And I'm just waiting. I got to make a deposit right now, and then we're going to go in and grab this. Because, again, guys, I just don't tell you about plays that I like. I actually put my money where my mouth is. That's what it's all about. Keeping it real with you guys. So, Bears, Vikings. Go to receiving. We'll go to receptions. And we want Swift to get 3. And he's at plus 130 right now, which is fantastic. So, we'll bet that one. And I'll confirm without limits. So, there we go. We're in for DeAndre Swift right here at 150 to get 2.5 catches. To get that at plus 130 is fantastic. It's a great price. So there it is. That's a Satya play of the day, I'd say for sure. So what else we got cooking right now? We're going to hit up some DFS here in just a second, guys, to kind of close out the stream. But we are going to be on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. We're going to be kind of going over some plays, talking about what we like, talking about how the Monday Night Football game went. We're going to be focused a lot tomorrow morning stream on betting college football and NFL totals and spreads and money lines, right? Because one of my favorite things to do is come over here to the sportsbook screen and start to look at total points or point spreads, right? So if I come over to point spreads and I start looking at the Packers Commanders, there's a very key number here at 3.5, right? So can I find other books that are offering this, right? NFL lines are opening up like right here. This is a great example. Now, the price isn't all that great, but getting the Steelers at minus 2.5 compared to minus 3 over at FanDuel is a big deal. That's a really key number, right? So if you think the Seahawks, if you like the Seahawks and you want them at plus points, I would rather bet them at plus 3 than plus 2.5, right? This is all about this. So you're understanding some key numbers. Jets, Bills, right? If you can get the Jets at +7 compared to +6.5, that's a big deal. It's a very big deal. So in my opinion, FanDuel, Jets +7, I mean, I know, but still, like, that's a very key number, right? Now, I'd rather take my Steelers at -2.5. Now, this is a homer pick. I normally don't bet on my Steelers, but to kind of drive the point home, you can find some good plays with some good odds. Now, these odds might not be a big deal. I think this half point's a big deal, though. So getting this at 2.5 is a big deal. So we get them at -118. And, this is where you're going to kind of have to figure out what you want to put on this, right? So if I say, what's the max I can take? They're taking $5,900, which is awesome. So I'm going to put a 250 spot here on my Steelers, and I'm taking them at -2.5. That's a key number, right? So we'll put this in here right now for -2.5, and I'll take this at 250, right? Because I like this compared to where it is. Now, if I'm looking at, again, this Jets game, this, in my opinion, is a big deal at -115. If I clicked into this, we can maybe see that a +7, Pinnacle's sitting at -122. That's only 7 cents off. But again, it's a big deal getting the Jets at +7. And now, while I do believe that Justin Fields played the game of his life last week, I still like this number, getting a key number at +7. Because now I have some insurance, right? I do have some insurance. So if you're a Jets hater, you don't think they're any good, that's fine. But that is a really big deal, a divisional opponent. Yeah, Salia, he looked good. I would rather it have been that way. So to be honest, I'm happy that he looked good and the defense looked bad compared to the defense looking great and the offense looking poor. I think that the defense, when they have some time together, they'll be able to gel. I am worried about that the Elliott injury. I'm very worried about that, but I'm in on it. Again, looking at Hard Rock, Jaguars and the Bengals. Bengals at -3 at Hard Rock. Well, that's a big deal compared to -3.5. If you feel that the Jaguars on the other side are the better team, then that's where you could do that. Now, if we're looking at like total points, if we're looking at NFL, Pinnacle sees the over 48.5 at -111. The under's at -103. So I'm not maybe interested in betting that under. If we're looking at some other games, though, this is where you can start to pay attention to weather. What's the weather like in Pittsburgh, right? We don't really care what the weather is in New Orleans because it's in a dome. But in Pittsburgh, that matters. Detroit, we don't care. It's in a dome. But for the Jets game, that matters. Tennessee, it matters. Dallas, doesn't matter. So these are little things that you want to start to take a look at weather reports right now just to see if there's going to be any rain or a lot of wind or anything like that at all. But do we find anything that's really outside the norm? Here's what I would say. You see that Pinnacle on this Browns-Ravens game, excuse my Pittsburgh accent, over 45, -107. FanDuel, over 45.5, -105. Look at Caesars, over 44.5 at -110. Pinnacle's got the over 45 at -107. We get a half point less. We only have to pay an extra 3 cents, but we're getting this on the Browns and the Ravens, right? Now, what I will say to you guys is if you're not limited on your sports books, this is probably going to get you limited a bit faster, okay? But if you're someone like me that's limited on FanDuel and limited on Caesars, then I'm going after this right now. So I'm going to bet the over on the Browns and the Ravens, and right? But the game's in Baltimore. So then I'm just going to go over here, and before we do this, I'm going to take a quick look at the 7-day forecast in Baltimore. And on Sunday, it looks pretty good. 80% chance, 5% participation. This looks pretty good. So I'm coming over here to the NFL, and I'm going to go ahead and bet this game on the Ravens because we're getting an extra half point. And in the NFL, this is a really big deal. 220 to bet 200. Will they accept it? They will. So I'm in for 220, right? I'm betting this over right now, and I'm getting this in at the moment. Now, it's week 1. Another reason I have no problem doing this, guys. Like Lamar didn't get hurt last night. So as long as there's no real key injuries here, I'm feeling pretty good. Obviously, if Myles Garrett was hurt, that would be very good for our overs. But these are little things that you want to look for. That half-point difference is a big deal. It's the difference between sometimes winning a bet or pushing a bet or pushing a bet or losing a bet. So these are the little things you want to look for, and I love at the sportsbook screen. Same thing for college football. Right? We're looking at spreads. We're looking at total points. This is where you can find some really good opportunities. No, Sally, that's actually still my personal one. Betting player props on my personal Caesars is toast. Well, it's like 50. It's like $50. But for my personal one, I've had an incredible run with Caesars for like 4 years. It's the one sports book to me that's made no sense. Somehow I've flown under the radar with Caesars. Like when I go back to Pennsylvania on my personal Caesars, I can still bet player props probably 150, $200 a pop. So I'm really lucky there. So if we're looking at point spreads here, like, man, getting Wake Forest at +7.5 could be a big deal compared to Pinnacle, right? Because all the books have this at +7. Maybe you want to bet this over at Hard Rock because you're getting a slightly better price, right? If you click into this game, you could see, does Pinnacle have anything shown? Pinnacle's at -130. And +7.5 is a big deal compared to +7. These are the little things you want to pay attention to. Key numbers. Wake Forest is at home. They've kind of been a Jekyll and Hyde in terms of this. But if we go over to FanDuel and I look at Wake Forest, I want to bet this. Now, I could bet this over at Hard Rock. I'm fine betting this over at FanDuel and taking just slightly worse points. It's getting -122, right? But again, what's the max wager? $670. I'll put 200 on this, and I'm good with it, right? We get +7.5. So if nothing else, I'm getting very key numbers. That's what it's all about, guys, when it comes to betting some of these plays. 8 cents off the Pinnacle, that's barely enough for me to say, you know what, I like this. I like that. But this is how using the sportsbook screen can be very key. And also, if you're looking at different sportsbooks, I'll wait till this removes. We'll come over here and kind of take a look. Oh, Sat, you're on the Rukesh train right now. Circa, doesn't matter, guys, if it's Circa Sports or Circa Vegas. And you could see that, Circa's at +7 at -110. That extra half point might warrant, this, but I still really like it. So this is where you can see if Pinnacle and Circa are aligned. I like this a lot, right? Little things like this can make a really big difference in your wins and losses because betting football, particularly the NFL, is very, very popular for everyone. And those little edges can make a big difference. All right, 6-leg entry over here on Underdog if you guys want to check it out. Questions, email me, DM me. But those are going to be kind of our bets and picks for today, guys. We're going to be doing more of that kind of spread total points betting tomorrow morning. Looking at the sportsbook screen, devigging the Circa. I like the sportsbook screen because I can pull up Circa and Pinnacle side by side and maybe even Bookmaker and then just pick off the recreational books. That's where it's going to be a fun time. Yes, you can only dream of getting it. I'm a very lucky man. I don't know how, but I still am. They're still letting me go. And obviously I haven't waxed them yet, but I know Caesars has been very profitable for me. I've enjoyed it, and they're still letting me go. And so it's been a great time. No doubt about that. All right, so there's a 6-pick entry. If you want to rock a 3-pick entry instead, this is, again, 3.5% edge. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I'd rather rock this 3-leg entry than the 6-pick entry, for sure. Outside of Underdog, if we select everybody else but Underdog, here's a rebet slip, 6 legs. Again, if you're not into 6-leg entries, no problem. There's a lot of variance when you're playing these types of 6-leg slips. I would totally be fine if you wanted to opt for a 3-pick power. Make sure that you throw in that Caleb Williams over on his passing yards. I think that's a really good play tonight. So if you wanted to remove one of these lines, totally cool with that. Make sure you add the Caleb Williams play. This is about a 6.5% edge. I do like betting significant strikes. So on PrizePicks, we'll come down here. We hit a 3-leg entry this weekend on the UFC over at Underdog for about $300, which was really nice. And so there we go. And wrong slip. It would be this one right here. And I'll share this with you guys in the chat. But back on tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. Satya, good luck tonight for the Monday Night Football game. I'll be out to dinner with my buddy. I'll be back for Thursday for the Commanders and the Packers. That's going to be a dandy of a game. Packers, Commanders, that's going to be so good. Looking forward to that one, guys. But appreciate you guys hanging out with me for the past hour. We're going to be doing it again tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening. Doing it twice as we're back to doing 2 streams a day for the rest of this week. If nothing else, guys, enjoy the Monday Night Football, enjoy the baseball, and I'll talk to you guys mañana. Take care.